In the remote village of Lirion, perched on the edge of a vast, dark forest known as the Whispering Woods, life was simple, dictated by the cycles of nature and the rhythms of the seasons. For generations, Lirion had thrived under the protective gaze of the forest, its trees speaking in hushed tones of wisdom and warning. Yet, a shadow was creeping over the village, a shadow that would challenge everything they believed about their world. The story begins on an autumn evening, the kind where the sun sets early, painting the sky with hues of gold and crimson. The villagers were gathered in the town square, where a bonfire was lit, not for celebration but for concern. Elder Ilara, a woman whose years had not dulled her sharp mind or her connection to the woods, stood before the crowd. "Friends, neighbors," she began, her voice carrying over the crackle of flames. "Our harvest this year has been meager. The forest, which has always been our ally, whispers of a disturbance deep within its heart. We must heed these whispers, for they speak of a darkness that could engulf us all." The crowd murmured, a mix of worry and disbelief. Among them was young Thalen, a hunter known for his keen eyes and even keener understanding of the forest's lore. Beside him stood Mira, a weaver whose threads were as much a part of Lirion's tapestry as the trees were part of the forest. "We've seen it too," Thalen spoke up, his voice steady. "The game has vanished further into the woods, the paths are less welcoming. Something's changed." Mira nodded in agreement, her hands clutching a shawl that seemed woven from the very essence of the forest. "And my threads, they no longer sing with the joy of nature. They are muted, as if mourning." Ilara pointed towards the heart of the Whispering Woods, where legend spoke of a sacred glade, the heart of all life in Lirion. "We must journey there, seek the counsel of the great spirit that dwells within. It's time we understand what plagues our land." A group was formed, including Ilara, Thalen, Mira, and a few others brave enough to face the unknown. They prepared for what could be a perilous journey, gathering supplies, blessings, and courage. As they stepped into the forest, the trees seemed to lean in, their whispers growing louder, guiding them, yet also warning them. The deeper they ventured, the more the forest transformed. Familiar paths twisted into mazes, and the vibrant life of the woods gave way to a chilling silence. By the second day, they reached a clearing unlike any they had seen before. The ground was barren, the trees around it twisted as if in pain, and in the center stood an ancient gnarled tree, its bark black as night. "This is the heart of Lirion," Ilara whispered, her voice trembling with awe and fear. "But something has corrupted it." From the shadows of this tree, a figure emerged, not of this world but bound to it. It was the spirit of the forest, once a beacon of life, now a shadow of sorrow. "You have come," it spoke, its voice like leaves rustling in a storm. "The darkness you seek is not a foe from without, but a corruption from within." The group was stunned, their minds racing. How could their own village be the source of this blight? "Long ago," the spirit continued, "a pact was made between the first settlers and the forest. We would protect and they would respect. But greed has crept into hearts, not all, but enough. The earth has been scarred, the waters poisoned by those who seek more than their share. This corruption has now reached me." Thalen, ever the protector of balance, asked, "What can we do to heal this?" The spirit's eyes, glowing with a faint light, looked upon each of them. "You must find the source of this corruption. It lies within 3 guardians of your village, each wielding power but driven by avarice. They must be confronted, their misdeeds undone." The journey back to Lirion was somber, each step heavy with the weight of their mission. Once back, they shared the spirit's words, and the village was divided. Some were in denial, others in fear, but a core group stood with Ilara, Thalen, and Mira, ready to confront the truth. The first guardian was Mayor Kaldor, whose ambition had led him to exploit the forest for personal gain, building beyond what the land could sustain. They approached him at his grand, newly built home, the wood of which was cut from the forest without regard. The confrontation was fierce, but with the evidence of the spirit's words and the support of the community, Kaldor was ousted, his actions brought to light. Next was Brynna, the village's richest merchant, who had been dumping waste into the river to clear more land for her trade. Mira, using her knowledge of the land and her connection with the villagers, managed to turn public opinion against Brynna's practices. Together, they began restoring the river, planting trees, and ensuring no further harm would come to their water source. The final guardian was a surprise to many, Garin, the beloved schoolteacher whose lessons had always been about harmony with nature. However, it was revealed that he had been secretly teaching the younger generation to covet the forest's resources, planting seeds of exploitation in their minds. Thalen, with his respect among the youth, challenged Garin's teachings, leading to a new curriculum that respected the forest's sanctity. With each guardian confronted and the corruption addressed, Lirion began to heal. The forest's whispers turned from warnings to songs of recovery. The harvest improved, the game returned, and the spirits of the villagers lifted. But the journey was not over. The group returned to the heart of Lirion, where the spirit awaited. This time the clearing was not barren, but filled with new growth, the tree in the center showing signs of life. The spirit, now vibrant, spoke. "You have undone what was wrong, but remember, the balance is delicate. Teach your children well, for the future of Lirion and the Whispering Woods depends on those who come after." The villagers, united like never before, celebrated not just with a festival but with a new commitment to their land. They created a council of guardians, including Thalen and Mira, to ensure the forest's voice was always heard in Lirion's decisions. As years passed, Lirion became a beacon of how communities could live in harmony with nature. Tales of their journey spread, attracting those who wished to learn or to heal their own lands. Thalen and Mira grew old, their hair silver, but their eyes bright with the wisdom of the forest. Elara, in her final years, passed on her role to a new elder, leaving behind a legacy of balance. However, the story does not end here, for as the world changed, new challenges arose. A great drought swept across the land, testing Lirion's resolve. Once again, they turned to the Whispering Woods, finding new allies among the spirits and creatures that had long been ignored. They learned of underground rivers, of plants that thrived with less water, adapting their ways to survive. This era of adaptation brought about innovations in farming, water conservation, and a deeper understanding of their symbiotic relationship with the forest. The village, now a town, thrived in ways its founders could never have imagined, becoming a center for those seeking to live in harmony with nature. But with prosperity came new temptations. Outsiders, drawn by Lirion's success, brought ideas of industrialization, of taking more from the land than it could give. The town faced its greatest test yet, not of survival, but of integrity. A new generation, taught by the old but eager for progress, stood at a crossroads. They debated, they argued, and eventually they decided to integrate new technologies but with strict guidelines. Nothing would be done without the forest's consent, symbolically represented by the Council of Guardians. This decision led to a new era where technology and nature coexisted, where machines were designed to work with the land, not against it. The Whispering Woods, in response, seemed to grow stronger, its whispers now songs of progress and preservation, a testament to Lirion's enduring commitment to balance. As the story of Lirion concludes, it leaves us with a profound lesson. The heart of any community, like the heart of Lirion, beats with the pulse of the natural world. It teaches that the greatest threats often come from within, but so do the greatest strengths. The legacy of Lirion is one of vigilance, respect, and the unending quest to live not just in but with the world around us.